Hello, this week is pretty historic for the gaming industry. Phil Spencer, who was the former CEO of Microsoft, just retired after 38 years with the company. And Sarah Bond, who is the president of Xbox, also resigned. So where are their replacements coming from? Well, you're not gonna believe it. They're actually coming from one of Microsoft's divisions. This happened last week, so we need to talk about what this actually means. But that's not the only story. Marathon drops this Wednesday. After years of anticipation, waiting for this major day to happen, it's finally here. Monster Hunter Stories 3 also arrives on Switch 2 this week, and we've got some surprising Game Pass additions that nobody saw coming. So let's break it all down, starting with this week's biggest news. Phil Spencer's final day at Microsoft was last Monday, February 23rd. After 12 years leading Xbox and 38 years with Microsoft, he retired. And at the same time, Sarah Bond, who is the president of Xbox, who everybody assumed would take Spencer's job, resigned instead. So their replacement is Asha Sharma. She was the president of Microsoft's core AI division. She's never worked in gaming before taking this role. So now, before we jump to conclusion, here's what we know. Spencer announced last fall that he wanted to retire. This wasn't a sudden firing. He's staying on as an advisor through the summer just so that it can help with transition. Bond, on the other hand, said in her LinkedIn post that she was committed to guiding Xbox through the Activision Blizzard acquisition period. And now that that's done, she's ready to move on to a new chapter, which is understandable. But here's what makes this complicated. According to a report from The Verge, Bond was the driving force behind Xbox's "This is an Xbox" marketing campaign. You know, the one where they said that your phone is an Xbox, your TV is an Xbox, basically everything is an Xbox. Well, internal sources told The Verge that that campaign offended many Xbox employees because it essentially devalued the Xbox console. Hardware sales have been declining, Xbox revenue dropped, and when it became clear the strategy wasn't working, both Spencer and Bond's departures started to feel inevitable. So now, Asha Sharma steps in with a big promise. In her email to Microsoft staff, she said Xbox will commit to three things. First, great games. Second, empowering the community. And third, the future of play. Then she added something really interesting. She explicitly said Xbox will not chase short-term efficiency or flood our systems with soulless AI slop. That's a direct quote coming from someone who just left the AI division to run gaming. That statement matters. It really does. It suggests Microsoft is aware of the concerns people have about AI executives running creative industries. Matt Booty, who was ahead of Xbox Game Studios, just promoted to Chief Content Officer. He'll be working closely with Sharma, which makes sense since he actually knows the studios and the franchises. Sarah Bond also mentioned in her farewell message that the next console, Xbox console, is well underway. So despite all changes, hardware development is still happening. What does this all mean for players? Honestly, it's a little too early to say. Xbox has a strong lineup for 2026, Forza Horizon 6, Fable, Gears of War E-Day, and Halo Combat Evolved Remake. Those games are still coming. The studios are still making them. The direction of the platform itself, especially around the Game Pass pricing, multi-platform strategy, and future hardware, that's all up in the air right now. We'll come back to why this matters for the industry in a bit, but first, let's talk about what's actually launching this week. Marathon releases this Wednesday, March 5th. After everything this game has been through, it's finally here. Bungie originally announced this back in May of 2023. They set a release date for September of 2025. Then the closed alpha happened in April, and the feedback was rough. Players and critics said the game needed more time, so Bungie agreed and delayed it indefinite. 6 months later, here we are, March 5th, 2026. Marathon is an extraction shooter, think Escape from Tarkov or Hunt Showdown, but made by a studio that created Halo and Destiny. You play as a runner on the lost colony planet Tau Ceti 4. I think 4, yes. You drop into matches, complete contracts, gather loot, and try to extract before other players or an AI enemies kill you. If you die, you lose everything you brought in. If you extract successfully, you keep what you found. High risk, high reward. There are 6 runner types at launch, each with different abilities and playstyles. The game has full cross-play and cross-save across PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. Bungie added proximity chat based on alpha feedback, so you can talk to nearby players even if they are not on your team. You can form temporary alliances or betray people. It's designed to create tense social interaction. Kinda reminds me of a cert game. The game costs $40 for the standard edition, $60 for the deluxe, and that's a bold move in a genre dominated by free-to-play games like Warzone and Apex Legends. Bungie is betting that players will play for a premium experience without battle passes and aggressive monetization. If you want to try it before launch, the Server Slam playtest is happening right now. It started last February 26th and runs through today, March 2nd. So finish it by the end of the day. You can download it for free on any platform and play with full cross-play enabled. Any progress you make carries over to the full game if you buy it. Early impressions from the Server Slam have been mixed, but generally more positive than the alpha. Season 1 launches shortly after the release and will add 2 more zones, ranked mode, and expanded progression systems. Bungie is clearly planning long-term support for this. Whether Marathon becomes Bungie's next big hit or struggles to find an audience, we'll know very soon. Wednesday is the day. Now, Monster Hunter Stories 3 Twisted Reflection launches this Thursday, March 26th. It's coming to Switch 2, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC simultaneously. This is Capcom's turn-based RPG spin on Monsters Hunter. Instead of hunting monsters, you befriend them, raise them, and battle alongside them. It's like Pokemon meets Monster Hunter with a bit of Persona-style combat. The game has been getting great buzz from people who played the demo, which has been available for a few weeks now. The story involves twisted reflections of monsters and hunters, some kind of reality distortion that's threatening the world. Combat is strategic and deep, with a rock paper scissors system for attack types and combo chains with your monster companion. So get ready for Monster Stories 3. It launches on all platforms that you play on. The PlayStation news is pretty quiet for this week, which is unusual after the massive state of play a few weeks ago. The big thing is that Marathon launches play on PlayStation this Wednesday after the Server Slam playtest ends today. Be ready for that, and PlayStation Plus members get exclusive cosmetic items in Marathon, including weapon charms inspired by Helldivers 2, Death Stranding 2, and Ghost of Yotai. Those are redeemable through the PlayStation Plus packs after the game launches on Wednesday. PS Plus lineup for March for the essential tiers gets announced this Wednesday on March 5th, so stay tuned to that. I will be dropping a few shorts on that as well. So based on their past patterns, we're probably looking at a decent AA game, maybe an indie darling, and possibly a sports title. The extra and premium tiers usually get announced around March 11th and go live on March 17th. We'll cover those next week once they're actually official. So moving over to Nintendo is having a solid week with Monster Hunter Stories 3 launching also on the platform this Thursday. And the bigger story in Switch 2's third-party momentum, we're now 2 months into the Switch 2 era and the support from major publishers has been incredible. Resident Evil Requiem launched day and date with other platforms. Cyberpunk 2077 is running on Switch 2 and Final Fantasy VII Remake is there. Star Wars Outlaws is also coming soon. This is the kind of support Nintendo hasn't had since the Super Nintendo era, and it's changing how people think about the platform. You can genuinely play most major releases portably now. That's wild. There's also a rumor circulating that Nintendo is planning a major direct for late March or early April. Nothing confirmed yet, but spring directs usually happen. So let's tie this all together. What does Xbox leadership change mean for the industry? Here's the reality. Xbox has been struggling with identity for years now. Under Phil Spencer, they built Xbox Game Pass into a genuinely valuable service. They acquired massive studios like Bethesda and Activision Blizzard. They pushed cross-platform play and backward compatibility. Those were all good things. But console sales never recovered from the Xbox One launch disaster. The "this is an Xbox" campaign confused people more than it inspired them. And multi-platform releases, while probably smart business, made the Xbox console feel less essential. Asha Sharma's appointment could go two ways. Either she brings fresh perspective and helps Xbox find a new identity that actually works, or she finds out her depth in an industry she doesn't understand and makes things worse. The fact is that she explicitly promised no AI slop is encouraging. It means Microsoft is aware that gamers are skeptical of AI executives, but words are easy. We need to see action. The stakes could not be higher for Xbox right now, so let's see how they ride this wave. Alright, so now that's everything for this week. Again, Marathon launches this Wednesday. Xbox has new leadership with a lot to prove, and the gaming industry is watching very closely to see what happens next. If you're trying Marathon out this week, good luck out there on Tui Seti. If you're jumping into Monster Hunters 3, enjoy the ride, and if you're an Xbox fan, I know last week has been stressful. Just remember, these games are still coming. The studios are still working. We'll get through the transition together and see where Xbox goes from here. So thank you for watching the Rad Ryan Show. I will see you next Monday. Be prepared for more news. Take care.